Okay, my name is Nick Daniel Lee bin Jeffrey Lee. People just usually call me Nick. I'm currently 22 years old, born in 25th of June 2003, so prepare the birthday presents. Okay, I hail from a multiracial background. My dad's Chinese, my mom's Malay, and at home I usually speak English. Right?
Hi, my name is Shamsul Amir. I'm Sam. You can call me Sam. I'm 22, 23. I live in KL. I was from Sabah. I studied mostly in Malaysia, as in primary school and secondary school. But in between that, there was a time where I studied abroad in Dubai, which is kind of where I got my accent and also built my English speaking skills.
When you started school, was it weird to learn English in a classroom when you already spoke it? Did you find the lessons too easy, or were the grammar rules different from how your family actually taught?
Okay, it was not weird. I liked it because I had like a clear advantage compared to everyone else. But in terms of grammar, yes, because our education system has a certain system, right, for English learning. So it's all about just learning that specific system for grammar, then that's it. But picking it up is easy, was easy.
I would say they were more second language speakers, and they kind of grew up learning it, not like speaking it from, I guess, like how I grew up, like learning English. So most of them were like second language speakers, and maybe they struggled because of that, being an English teacher that is a second language speaker,
Do you
which
ever
is
have a
English.
teacher whose English was actually something that you admired?
And now that I think back into it, yes. At the time, I clowned her for it. I actually clowned her for it. I'll be honest, sorry Madam Yap, my primary school teacher, because the way she speaks, and at the time it seemed like it was funny, but the way she speaks is that she enunciates every single word clearly. Yeah. So, and she's very particular with certain terms and verbs. So yes, I'd say, although I learned to speak English proficiently starting from home and personal habits and personal lifestyle, but I'd say from my primary school teacher, she shaped me to have a more specific and more professional style of speaking.
The best English teacher I've had, honestly, is during my uni. During my second semester. She was very outgoing. She really tried her best to be so active in class. It made everyone involved, and I think I had like a group of classmates. At the start of the semester, like almost half of them weren't interested in English. By the end of the semester, because of how good she was, how interactive she was, how she made everyone love the language, I was close to damn near 80% of my classmates started talking English more, like conversing in English, which I think it's a good impact. But kudos to her.
But were there challenges? For example, do you ever feel an outsider in your local community school because you prefer English? Or do you struggle to learn the local Malay language because English was so dominant?
I feel like it's more a cultural thing. Never had much difficulties in it before because I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, right? And growing up, I always watched cartoons from national television, and national television cartoons all in Bahasa Malaysia. So that's also my exposure to Bahasa Malaysia, right? So I never really had problems speaking or talking to people in Bahasa Malaysia. And more specifically because I have a lot of English-speaking friends, just as I have a lot of Malay-speaking friends. At the same time, I also have a certain friend group that we only speak Mandarin with. So it's quite balanced. So I would say I've never really had much problems fitting in terms of speaking other languages like Malay or Mandarin, because I'm used to hanging out with friends that speak each specific languages. Yeah.
Honestly, like more about trying to use it properly, I guess. I remember early on in my younger years, like I would learn a new word and abuse it to hell. And then as I grew older, I'm like, okay, you know what? Yes, learning new words is fun and all, but you gotta understand the basics.
So what does it mean to be Malaysian in a world full of labels? In our conversation with Nick Lee, we found a fascinating nuance. Even though English is his first language, Nick often feels like an outsider. Or sometimes. In our local context, your primary language can sometimes distance you from your heritage. So, how does he bridge that gap? Nick's secret sauce wasn't textbooks. It was a childhood diet of national TV cartoons and a diverse social circle. This gave him the unique ability to navigate Malay, Chinese, and English-speaking groups with total ease. But here's the most important distinction. Nick doesn't change who he is to fit in, he doesn't change his personality. He switches his accent. For Nick, code switching isn't about being fake, it's a tool for connection. It's how he stays true to himself while moving seamlessly through a multicultural landscape. Nick's story reminds us that modern identity isn't about picking a side, it's about the fluidity to belong everywhere.
Also how his perspective on education evolved. While he initially found school English to be an easy advantage, he now looks back and credited his strict primary school teacher, Madam Yap, shaping the professional.
From Nick's perspective, language fluency is not something special or unfair. He does not see it as an advantage that gives him extra power over others, but instead, he sees fluency as a basic requirement in a multilingual society. Because of this mindset, he feels comfortable using his language skills naturally. He often acts as a bridge between different parties. For example, he translates messages so people can understand each other better. He also helps connect communities that speak different languages. Overall, his strong image of himself comes from usefulness, not superiority. He believes that language should be included to people. and
Our
not
conversation with
excluded.
Sam uncovered a unique perspective on English proficiency, shaped significantly by his childhood schooling in Dubai. For Sam, English isn't just a skill, it is his first language, a choice his parents prioritized to ensure his adaptability. He saw a stark contrast on his educational journey. While he noted that many of his teachers faced challenges due to being second language speakers themselves, he highlighted one pivotal university lecturer whose interactive energy successfully motivated nearly 80% of her students to start speaking English by the end of the
Part
semester.
of Sam's interviews, Sam shares how he views English. So professionally, Sam provided a pragmatic takeaway from the food and beverage industry. In a multi-ethnic Malaysia, where not everyone speaks Malay, Mandarin or Tamil, he views English as the essential common ground. For him, fluency translates directly to confidence and business efficiency. Simply put, the more people you can talk to, the more opportunities you can unlock.
Finally, Sam left us with a key lesson on growth. He moved from abusing complex words as a child to valuing the basics. He advocates moving beyond textbooks and consuming media to truly understand how a language sounds, ultimately using it as a tool to build deeper connections with others.